Welcome to the Neuroscience Study Guide, Part 1. It will go over Intro to Neuroscience, regional anatomy, neurons and glial cells, and synapses. So, let's get this party started. What meningeal layer is very thin and delicate and found directly attached to the brain tissue. The answer is pia mater. What is the function for the neurotransmitter serotonin? The answer is mood, behavior, and inhibits pain. What is the consistency of the brain? The answer is soft butter. Peripheral nerves include what two groups? The answer is cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Differentiate between paralysis and paresis. The answer is paralysis is the loss of movement and paresis is muscle weakness. What separates the cerebral hemispheres? The answer is longitudinal fissure. Describe the composition of the cerebral cortex. The answer is white matter is found deep to the cerebral cortex and gray matter is the superficial layer. Differentiate between a gyrus, sulcus, and fissure. The answer is gyrus is a fold or ridge, sulcus is a shallow groove, and fissure is a deep groove. What are the four main lobes of the brain? The answer is frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Differentiate between fluent and affluent aphasia. The answer is fluent is fluent speech but unable to comprehend language. Affluent or non-fluent is the inability to speak but can comprehend language. List the four major regions of the brain. The answer is brainstem, cerebellum, cerebrum, and diencephalon. What is the central sulcus divide? The answer is frontal and parietal lobes. How is Botox used clinically? What is the goal? The answer is, it is used for patients with spastic muscles. It causes temporary paralysis or weakness of muscles to allow relaxation and elongation of muscles to prevent or limit progression of contractures and help restore normal posture. How are chemical synapses different than electrical synapses? The answer is They are more abundant and widespread type in CNS and PNS, involves neurotransmitters for communication and not connected, found in PNS and CNS, whereas electrical is only CNS. What two structures work together to regulate the endocrine system? The answer is pituitary gland and hypothalamus. What glial cell helps form the blood-brain barrier? The answer is astrocytes. What gland secretes melatonin? The answer is pineal gland. The brainstem consists of what three parts? The answer is midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. What are cerebellar peduncles? The answer is three large bundles of nerve fibers that connect the cerebellum to the brainstem. What is arbor vitae? The answer is tree of life, an elaborate network of white matter in the cerebellum. What are basal nuclei, ganglia, and their general function? The answer is subcortical structures composed of gray matter. Their general functions are motor control, emotions, language, decision-making, learning, reward, and habit formation. Describe the location of gray matter and white matter in the brain. The answer is gray matter is the superficial layer of the brain, and white matter is found deep to the cerebral cortex. What's the main function of the cerebellum? The answer is motor coordination. What is a TBI? The answer is traumatic brain injury. What are cranial fossae? The answer is three regions of several subdivided bones of the cranial base, houses the different lobes of the cerebrum. What is the foramen magnum? The answer is largest hole in cranial base, which allows the brain and spinal cord to join. What meningeal layer is the toughest and most superficial? The answer is dura mater. What effect does nicotine have at the neuromuscular junction? The answer is binds to and activates nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, initially causing muscle contraction. What is the transverse fissure separate? The answer is cerebrum and cerebellum. Describe the structure and function of dural venous sinuses. The answer is spaces of separation between the periosteal and meningeal layers in the brain allows for the collection of CSF. Describe the structure and function of dural septa. The answer is inward extensions of dura mater that divide the cranial cavity act to limit excessive movement of the brain and provide support. What does the diencephalon include for structures? The answer is thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus. What meningeal space contains cerebrospinal fluid? The answer is subarachnoid space. What are arachnoid villi granulations? The answer is finger-like extensions of the arachnoid mater into the dura mater that allow for the reabsorption of cerebrospinal fluid. Thanks for watching, and keep on the lookout for part 2.